Okay, today we're going to be looking at the Pullrite hitch. I bought this hitch new about a month ago or so. I'm getting ready to take it out. I'll be using the trusty old tractor to get it out. This thing's pretty heavy. I think the manual says it weighs 196 pounds. I've done really well in the maintenance. If you read the instructions, a lot of people have had issues with it, just haven't followed the instructions. Important things on this unit is make sure that you are lubricating these with WD-40, nothing heavy. There's Teflon pads on this particular version that let the hitch glide, and really it just needs to be WD-40 to keep it from corroding or what have you. I still use lithium grease up in this area to just help the plate slide on, and it seems to hitch up a lot better. At this point, I've made a few trips with it. I made the trip back from when I purchased the toy hauler, and I've been camping and back with it, and I have noticed that this adjustment, which they reference in the manual, is a little off. It basically lets the hitch doesn't really grab anymore, and you can hear that little bit of ka-chunking. You hear that now whenever you're driving down the road. It's not a big deal. Probably scared me the first time that it happened, but after I realized what it was, and it wasn't a big deal. But this from time to time has to be adjusted. So if you hear noise from your Pullrite, make sure you've got your stop adjusted. Given the number of miles that I went, I've probably put maybe 600-700 miles on this. I'm taking it up Forest Service roads, so it's constantly banging against that going up the road. So I don't feel that it's probably too soon to be adjusted. I'm actually kind of surprised that it made it this long. But today I'm going to basically be doing this adjustment prior to putting it up. Typically I store mine closed up, because the big thing is you don't want these rails to rust. This is the wear area, and the documentation says you don't want pitting or any kind of rust to happen there. And it's just really best if you're not using it, just to kind of store it inside. And I plan on doing that today, and I'm going to clean the hitch and service it and get this tight and take it out. And like I say, be careful with these things. They're really heavy. They can damage you, your truck, a good friend, whatever. Just be real careful. They're kind of awkward to handle as well, because this thing can move while you're picking it up, which creates a problem. That's one of the reasons that I'm going to tighten this before I remove it, to make it easier to get off and get back on. Generally, if this is where it's supposed to be, it'll kind of lock when it gets up here to the top. It won't move around. This just slides back and forth depending on what the truck's doing. It was never this easy when I first bought it to turn it right there at that position all the way forward. It was always clunking up against that stop, and it was kind of holding it there. So I'm going to try to get back there again. I'm going to get some tools, and we're going to give it an adjustment. Okay, we got it adjusted. Really simple. Took a 15/16 socket, basically tighten this up. The easiest way I found to do is actually just kind of get it centered and up. Make some tightening till you get it up against this, and just torque it to spec, and you're done. You can see now kind of it really doesn't want to move easy, and then when it does, it breaks free and it can go back. And then when the unit slides back up, it catches, and there's a lot less clunking. These Pullrites are probably always going to make noise, and it's nothing to be really worried about. This Pullrite's great. I mean, as far as it getting the trailer out of the way when you're doing turns, you're not having to get out and move it around. It works really great. The installation was really easy, and as long as you take really good care of it, it should last forever. You need to do manual inspections on it. The big things is always check your wear plates, and just ensure that you're keeping these rails as clean as possible, and keep some kind of protectant on them. WD-40 is a recommended protectant. Up top here, it's just like any other fifth wheel. You kind of want to keep everything greased. Grease your your kingpin jaws and this plate. The big thing on the plate is you pretty much always have to back this straight on. You can't really connect at an angle. I think 10 degrees is the max. I always try to go dead on straight. It's just a lot easier to mess with. But you know, with the grease, it will actually allow it to kind of lift up on the trailer and it slide forward really easy. It also makes it a lot easier disconnecting. You can kind of let up on the trailer, and you can see the tongue just barely start to move. It'll kind of glide across the plate, and then that's when you know it's high enough to drive off. If you have any questions about it, like I say, I've had this. I did a lot of research before I bought it. I did the installation of the rail system in this truck. It's a Dodge 2500. But overall, really great unit. One thing I will say is a lot of people have had trouble. I've seen a lot of these at the campground. People are unaware that there is a lock. These are designed to, you just basically put your lock in this slot. And that basically keeps this from, you can't release it with a lock in the slot. So make sure that you always do that. That's your safety. And always do the pull test. Back into the trailer, make sure that it's actually connected good before you take off. Hope you like the videos.